Welcome to Zone In Sports, your favorite spot for real talk, bold takes, and everything in the zone when it comes to sports. From hard-hitting analysis of the Miami Hurricanes football to the hottest stories across the sports world, we're bringing you that energy, passion, and a little bit of swagger, just like the U. So whether you're tailgating in the Coral Gables or arguing in the group chats or just vibing in your way to work, buckle up. You're in the zone with your host, D. Hamp.
All righty out there. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Put in the chat what you guys doing with your kids today. If they're going to come over, do something for you, or you just going to chill out at home or watch TV. We'd like to know. How's it going out there, E?
It's going well. Happy Father's Day to all the gentlemen out there that have children, that put in that work, not just today, but 365 days a week. This is our day. So let's enjoy it. I hope the weather's good where you all are at. It's hot and sunny in St. Louis. It's muggy.
Yes,
It's getting to that Midwest Mississippi thickness outside.
Man, it's a little warm.
That Mississippi River thick weather. That thick air, boy, you breathing.
All right, guys, if you come in the chat there, man, just like I said, we're going to take questions at the end. If you want to support the channel, hit the super chat. We're going to start off this talking about two people that just committed. Put a video up. We're going to start off with Canon Pickett, and then we're going to dovetail into some other stuff. And then E and I are going to break down this video, talk about what's going on. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. So right here we got Canon Pickett. This is his highlight film. When I was watching him, I was like, man, this dude here is a beast, boy. Shoot. I mean, he was all over the field. I don't know if you got a chance to watch some of his
Yeah. He gonna be a hell of a guard. You gonna put him next to Jackson Cantwell, boy, that's gonna be an iron wall on whatever side they own.
Man, I was saying
what he is doing with this line is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
He is ridiculous with this recruiting with this line, man. And this is gonna shut down all that talk about, well, he's going into the portal too much, and he's recruiting high school hard.
Right.
He's getting the top high school talent hard. And right here lets you know his number one priority is that line, man. You can't.
What I was impressed with Cannon, man, I'm looking at this film and he blowing guys 5-6 yards off the line of scrimmage.
His brother played on the team. His daddy played on the team. His cousin decided to go to LSU. What was it? DJ Pickett, the cornerback that was five-star last year.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
It's crazy. It's nuts.
Well, now if he would have came, they could have really had a family thing going on.
Oh, hell yeah.
Unless you threw that big bag at him. So, but yeah, dude, this dude here, man, at the guard position is just.
And I did read something that Jackson was, recruiting him too.
Yeah, Jackson was, because he know us together. It's gonna be like Maui Noga and my man that's next to him. That's like damn near 7 foot at that guard spot on the right side. They're gonna continue this, man. Come on, man.
I know. When I started watching this, I said, man, we
have not had a recruiter like this since Butch Davis.
Yeah. You talked about that last week, and
Mark Rick couldn't recruit like this. Diaz couldn't recruit like this. I'm not going to say Golden couldn't, because Golden got some nice people despite all the sanctions he was under with the NCAA, in the mid 2010s and the teens. He was dealing with all that. But
right,
this dude here, man, all he got to do is win, man.
Yeah.
He has to do is win.
I mean, look at the holes he blowing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, boy.
And he ain't the only one. Did you see all the guys they got signed already that have committed?
Yeah.
The projected. They want the one. They trying to go after the one kid. I forgot his name. He got that. I ain't gonna say he got a funny name. It's pronounced different than how it's spelled. A young white kid. I think he gonna be a center or guard.
Yeah. I got his name. Is it Rays or Right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, he ain't committed yet, but I'm like, dude. He ain't done. He's still on old boy from USC. That's coming into USC. He's still on him.
Yeah, trying to get him
Mario
to
don't
flip.
give up, man. Mario does not give up.
Yeah, and that's the amazing part about it. That even if you don't get your guy that you want, he's still
on him. He's gonna stay on him to the end.
And that's, man, when you got a guy that's recruiting like that, that's who you really, really want in your camp. Next, we're gonna put up Tyson Bacon. Now, when I watch this young bull here, man, he is disruptive.
He's disruptive. He's a lean, athletic type defensive tackle, defensive end type. The dude is just he remind me of my man back in the 80s, man. That's war number 96. He played on the line with Cortez and played on the 85 squad. He played with Cortez and Russell Maryland. He was tearing up Florida State in that 87 game.
Right. I mean, this guy got a wingspan. I mean, I'm like, good Lord. I'm like, man, he is just wreaking havoc all over the place. Got a quick get off. Look like he shed blockers well.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he gonna bulk up some. He gonna bulk up some.
Yeah. I'm like, man, he going and getting these guys. And like I said, when I was watching this film, I was like, man, Mario got this. He got this down packed. Like I say, you got to produce. You got to get these guys developed. Some of these guys that we're seeing in this 2026 class, we probably ain't going to talk about them too much more. Of course, we got a couple of 5-stars he's trying to get if you get them. But this 2026 class is going to be nice. It's going to be nice.
Daniel
What's up there, Big Kev? Happy Father's Day to you too, bro.
Danny Stubbs, man. Danny Stubbs, who I was thinking about.
Okay.
Danny Stubbs that was my dude back in the 80s, man. He had a motor on him, tall, lean, but he played the end. And this kid remind me of him a lot.
Right. Yeah, like I say, I watched
they still on old boy. I think old boy out of Georgia, that 5-star defensive tackle. They own him hard. Yeah. There's a couple D tackles they really own. Like I said, the receiver out of Northwestern, he already got offered the basketball scholarship.
Right.
He gonna take some other visits, which I would. Why not? Yeah. It's a free trip. Take the visits.
Take the visits, yeah.
Take the visit. But I think him and Cooper, you get him and Cooper, and you still want to flip old boy from LSU a receiver.
Yeah. If you can get it done.
If you could get him and Cooper,
yeah.
You gonna solidify that offense. Oh my goodness, man. Mario ain't thinking about just right now. He's thinking about next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. In the meat of his 10-year tenure, he going into year 4. I think Mario thinking natty year 5 or 6.
Yeah.
That's what he's planning on. Yeah. You know, we got to build this thing up. I mean, anything can happen this year. But he is definitely, looking at, okay, when I get to the third quarter of my 10-year contract, I want to be in the top 1 or 2 teams in the country.
Yeah.
Now, he's signing like that because you don't hear this kind of buzz with Georgia, with Auburn, with Notre Dame. There's some kids going there that are nice kids, man, but Miami getting all the buzz right now with these recruits.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing was I wanted to dovetail and ask you about impact players for the 2025 class. We didn't talk a lot about the 2026 class. Now, we got guys in this 2025 class that has a chance to see the field. And so I pulled up, and I should have got with you the day before so you could have had the commits in front of you or the guys that's in camp right now. And some guys that you think that might see the field this year. And of course, you got Joshua Moore. People high on him. Pringle, another one.
And he the linebacker, Pringle?
No, Pringle, running back.
Running back. That's right.
Pringle. And got SJ. I can't never pronounce his name. Lyman. Of course, you got Luke Nickel. You got Stragans. He is a edge rusher. Kellen Wiley. Now, those first group of guys, out of all of those, we've only heard a lot about Luke Nickel. We heard a little bit about Joshua Moore and a little bit about Pringle out of those first, I think, 4 or 5 that I named. So the interesting part, if anybody in the chat didn't heard anything else about the other guys, Kellen Wiley Jr., SJ,
Malachi.
Pringle. Yeah, we got Malachi in the next batch. Some of these guys, I don't know. Who do you think, might see the field early out of that 2025 class?
I think the Pringle kid might see this field early in the games. Maybe against do they got Bethune again?
Yeah.
Well, they got Bethune.
I might be going down to that game. I might be.
They got Bethune at home again, right?
Yep.
They had them last year at home. South Florida. I'm not trying to sell South Florida short, but if Miami can get out in a big lead, maybe in the fourth quarter, some guys will get some duty because if guys aren't hurt and they battling with whoever they playing, then unless during fall camp these freshmen show out, man.
Yeah, see a lot of red shirts.
We got to see a lot of freshmen who might end up showing out, man. I think whoever play on the D line that's a part of this class might get some rotation.
It's interesting. I thought maybe the tight end, even though you got one that's a lock for sure, but you need that.
Well, I think he will too because you got my man that's going to start.
Right.
You got the other kid that came from the portal that's supposed to be.
Right. Oh yeah,
He nice and he can block.
Yeah.
Dawson has used 3 tight ends before.
Right. Yeah.
So he may get some click.
Yeah.
He may get some click.
Brock Shot, Jabari, and got Jabari, cornerback. You got Chris Ewald. You got Luke Gilbert, tight end. Of course, you got Malachi Tony, which we already all agree he might see some
he gonna see some slot action. Him and Ray both. Ray gonna get his shot too now.
Yeah.
Ray gonna get, Ray gonna get some time. He just, like I said, fall camp, fellas.
Yeah.
Fall camp.
Yeah.
Fall camp.
I think a lot of the positions that we really think that it's going to be battles in, we don't think it's going to be too much of a battle on the offensive line. I still think it's some positions got to be shaken out on the defensive line. Of course, cornerback.
On the O-line, I think Sampson, Pancake Honcho, he projected to be second string right tackle.
Right.
Now, my man that's starting there now, big dude, if he don't improve his footwork and Sampson make fall camp again.
Yep.
Because he played left tackle. I'm tripping because Maui played right tackle. He played left, so he got to protect Carson on that left side.
Right.
And this is a big boy. He damn near as big as McKinney.
Yeah.
So, but there was a couple times he got last year in the Syracuse game, in the Georgia Tech game, he got beat.
Yeah.
So that come down to footwork. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna work with him. Again, I can't stress it enough. Fall camp.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Fall camp.
So you figure maybe one battle on the offensive line. Yep. I think it's gonna be that whole defensive line. As much as we talk about it, I still think there's a bunch of battles on that defensive line between.
It's gonna be some battles, but I think Bain and Mesidor, your solids on the ends.
Right.
I think Scott gonna be a solid at D tackle.
Mm-hmm.
The other D tackle spot, that's where your battle gonna be.
Right.
I think that's where you're gonna see, because they got some nice kids coming up in this 25 class.
Right.
They got some other guys. They deep at D tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, because
they're deep at defensive end too.
Because I want to say they picked up some guys in the portal too. Didn't they picked up a D tackle? Well, they got Blay, of course, in the portal, right? And who else they get? So they got Blay in the portal. They got, see if they got another tackle. Wide receiver, running back, safety.
They got Blay. You got Ahmad Moulton. He was a 5-star. Hayden Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
Dante Simpson, Marquise Lightfoot, Brocker Pickett. You know,
well, Lightfoot was highly recruited too, wasn't he? So
Artavius Jones. You know, David Blake was a transfer in.
Right.
But Ahmad Moten was the 5. Armando Blunt is at end. He was that 5-star that was going to go to Florida State and came to Miami. He a 5-star too.
Right.
He 23 class or 20. He was a freshman last year.
Okay.
This is sophomore year. So you know they let me see. They 8 deep at defensive end and 5 deep at tackle. So they really could use another D tackle, but somebody else from one of the end spots could play tackle.
Right.
You 9 deep at linebacker.
Right.
So you straight at linebacker.
Yeah. You figure a couple of these guys are red shirt. I'm looking at Wiley and the freshman. He'll be a true freshman. So
Kellen Wiley, a freshman. Yeah. I think Popo Aguirre, they got him projected 3rd string behind Alderman, and you know, Basaint gonna be your starter. This Basaint last year, but I think Popo gonna see the field too because he got a motor.
Right.
Popo got a motor.
And then you figure the D-back, you know, I think that's all going to be a battle. I know we brought guys in, but I still think they battling guys out. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight.
It's going to be some real competition in that secondary room.
Yeah. With
them guys coming in. They all mean business, bro. And they're going to be they all support each other, but when they get on that field, it's going to be business. That's why I said I'm really looking forward to fall camp.
Yeah. And then, of course, on the wide receiver slot position, that's going to be another one because there's so much talent.
You say you might try to go to Bethune game.
Yeah. That's like September. Is it September? Yeah. September. Let me look at that date.
I'm looking
now.
Not
the 4th.
I was going to go to the Louisville game on a Friday. Bethune is September 6th.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
At 6:00.
Yep.
Then so South Florida's a 3:30 kickoff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making my way down there and watch the Bethune-Cookman game and go to Duffy's and enjoy myself.
Game?
Huh?
Why you pick that game? You on vacation?
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll just be something. It's good to do. Get to watch them in person. And
Louisville is October 17th. I'm on vacation. I mean, I can go any weekend. It's just a matter of going down there and turning around, coming back.
Right.
Plus, the Bethune tickets won't be so expensive.
True. Hey, I could get me 50-yard tickets on that game. So,
I mean, I can get a decent seat at the Louisville game. I think it was like in the high 70s, 80s, 50 yards. And the upper level ain't bad. It really ain't bad up there, man. So I'll see.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about it. So, but I kind of know more in the next month or so what we're going to do. Now, we're going to talk about, like I said, we're getting really close to camp. And the season isn't that far away for guys that want to put it in context. We're only, about a whole month and almost 2 months.
80-something. I think we 85 days away from fall camp or from the start of the season.
Yeah. Start of the season.
Fall camp is July 31st. When it started.
And that's a month and a half, 2 months away. So yeah, we getting there.
We already tomorrow halfway through June.
Yeah. He said Porch Kane say best seats is 317 area.
37. Let me see.
317.
I always see on the home side. I learned my lesson down there, bro. When I went to that Cincinnati game back in 2014.
Hard Rock, or are you talking about at Louisville?
Hard Rock.
Okay.
I'll never sit on the visitor side for a day game again. I learned my lesson. I was sitting behind Cincinnati bench. It was 97 degrees. There was no sun. I'm looking on the home side. I'm like, they designed this stadium just right where the home side is always in the shade.
Right.
And this was before they closed it in, I think. It was 2014. I don't think it was closed in, but it was still shady over there, man.
Right.
I mean, they beat Cincinnati. Duke ran a long one back. It was a good game, but boy, I cooked on that day, boy.
Yeah, shoot. I sat on the home side, so I've never sat on the visitor side there, but I like you say, you probably right. That sun probably be beaming on you on that
Best place
side.
to be is on the home side on a day game.
Right.
Now, especially when they put the new covering in there now,
Uh-huh.
they purposely made that with the visitor side. That where they set that built that when they built Joe Robbie or whatever you want to call it back in them days was Joe Robbie, then Sun Life. I think it was Sun Life when I went down there for Cincinnati. They built it where the visitor side is always in the sun if it's a day game.
Okay.
And they had them fans going. Them cats was cooking, and we was cooking right behind them.
I say 317 has coverage. What game you going to, Porch Cane, out there this year? Put it in the chat. Let us know.
Let me see. I've been like I said when I was looking at the Louisville game. I was looking at where I was going to sit at, like where I normally always sit at, which is like okay.
Okay, 10 for all the home games. All right. Hey, when we come down there, we're gonna have to link up, okay?
He said 317.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the visitor side, but the upper level. So yeah, you underneath the new covering. I go on the home side. 347, 346, 345. If you up there, even 340, 348 ain't bad. They got tickets $39, $57 for Louisville, one ticket. Here go one right here in row 7 for $348.
Yeah. Now I
for
got
$48.
I got an interesting email the other day. You know, I always be getting crazy emails and stuff.
Right.
But anyway, here's the question that was posed to me. They was like, I see you post all this stuff about the recruits. He said, but respectively, 5-star wins championships. So I kind of want to sit back and reflect on just how he was kind of phrasing the question, which I don't disagree that 5-star, you need some 5-star recruits to win championships. I think that you need a mix of all, you know. There's only so many 5-stars in every recruiting class with 30 plus, you know, 4 stars, 3 stars, and even your stars. I just want to throw the stars out the window because a 3-star in one state, you know, get frowned upon in other states, you know, and that's how a lot of talent get missed out. You know, you might be a 3-star in Wisconsin somewhere, and then a guy in Texas say, oh, well, that guy in Wisconsin, he didn't play anybody. Did he turn out to be Ron Dane or somebody? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it gets tricky because a lot of it you still have to prove on the field. But what do you think of that? 5 stars win championships. I know it's a general statement.
That's general. Yes and no. 5 stars with a combination of coaching wins championships. Just 5 stars don't win championships because look at Texas A&M. Jimbo couldn't do nothing with them boys, and he had the best recruiting class ever a few years ago. Okay. He had all them 5 stars on that D line and secondary. He had 5 stars all over the place.
Right.
And Miami beat him with fucking Van Dyke.
Right.
Okay. So 5 stars with coaching, you put 5 stars with Saban, you put 5 stars with Kirby, his staff, you put 5 stars with Clemson coach with the staff they had several years ago when they made their run with Dabo. I mean, look at Ohio State had 5 stars and they couldn't beat Michigan. They finally got over the hump last year and they still couldn't beat Michigan. They won a natty.
Yeah.
So it takes a combination of chemistry, not just 5 stars. You got to have the chemistry. You got to have the coaching.
Yeah.
You got to have the support staff. That's what it's going to take today. These kids got to have heart. Not everybody going to be a 5-star.
Right.
Not everybody going to be a 5-star because you got some real killer 3 stars and 4 stars out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hungry.
Okay? So yeah, I can have a whole roster full of 5 stars. What was that? A few years ago, Ole Miss had that real big class where they had M. Kandichi,
Oh
Where
yeah,
he at now? He done got in trouble and shit. He was a five. Ole Miss signed a bunch of 5-stars. Did they win the SEC? No.
right.
They made a lot of noise and splash that day. Recruiting day back in that February of 2017 or whatever it was, 16, 17, whatever year that was, 18. But did they do anything?
Right.
Ole Miss didn't have a coach, and they didn't have, oh boy, wasn't there yet. So you can have all the 5-stars you want. But if you don't have the coaching, you're not going to win anything.
True.
Because like I said, Jimbo's class was the perfect example of that.
You know, the funny part, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I always think like this, like sometimes you just need stuff sprinkled in, you know, because if you got a 5-star athlete, say quarterback, we'll just say a 5-star quarterback, he can extend plays and make your offensive line a little better than what it is. You know what I'm saying? Or you could have 5-star linemen all the way across and make your quarterback look good. So it's
Alabama did that.
Yeah.
AJ McCarron, what was the quarterback? McCarron?
Yeah.
He wasn't.
AJ, yeah.
He wasn't all world at quarterback. He was a game manager. But when I got 5 stars on the line and I got some 5-star running backs and my defense is built like a brick shithouse steel wall, I'm gonna win the national championship. And I got the coaching.
Yeah.
Saban had the best coordinators and assistant coaches.
Right.
That's why he kept losing them to become head coaches somewhere else or to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
That's what kind of hurt Dabo a little bit. Dabo, remember, Clemson was riding high, and then for the last few years, they've been kind of not drowning, but just right there.
Yeah, kind of floating.
He lost Venerables to Oklahoma. He lost some offensive coaches. Now he done kind of rebounded a little bit.
Yeah.
So now a lot of people are high on Clemson this year.
Yeah.
It's even some Miami people thinking they don't think Miami can beat Clemson. I'm like, I wouldn't say that just yet.
Right.
Because like I said,
we have to wait to see the product that we put on the field.
Right. I want to see the product first. And like I said, I think Clemson's Achilles heel gonna be their O-line.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be their Achilles heel, their O-line. But going back to the gentleman's email to you, 5 stars do win championships if you got the right coaches, the right supporting staff, the right strength and conditioning. Yeah, and you can win a national championship. That's what it's going to take now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be like Jimbo Fisher and have the best recruiting class ever.
Right.
And they wanted that man fired.
But the funny part, even about the Jimbo thing, when he got that recruiting class, because he didn't last, a year or two after, didn't he?
Because he was losing games.
Yeah, he didn't really have the chance to really develop those guys.
He had the squad with A-Chain on it. A-Chain, that's with the Dolphins acting
right.
Fool.
Oh, H-E-N or whatever his name is. Yeah.
He was cold in college.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, Jimbo just didn't. Jimbo, they paid him all that money. They paid him all that money. And then Texas came out of pocket to get all them dudes, including no boy that's holding out for the Bengals that's from Miami.
Oh yeah,
that's how I know he was only in it for the bag.
Yeah, man.
Well, I would have stayed in Miami if Mario would have got to me a little sooner. No, nigga, you left to get that money, and you showing it right now because you holding out with the Bengals.
Yeah. What is your take on that? Well, when I read it, and then I didn't have all my facts together, but something going on with the clause in the contract. So, like, if something happens, then he has to pay back, or he doesn't get his whole guaranteed contract. So it's some wordage going in there, or some verbiage in there that the Bengals added that they never added to any other draft pick. So that's the sticking point with him. That I don't know why they added this.
I don't think he injury prone.
Yeah, that's the key. There's some reason why they added this language. You know, if I'm just sitting back just outside, just observing, if they never added this language and all of a sudden you get drafted and then they add this language, why? That's the question that's has to be asked about that. I don't know why, because I don't know enough about him. I'm not going to say the young man has any character issues because I haven't seen anything.
No, he never got no trouble or nothing.
Yeah, so I don't know.
he was part of that great class for A&M. And I'm not going. He's a good player. He was pretty decent in college, but he wasn't no Sap. He wasn't no Russell Maryland.
Right.
He wasn't
So
no
something going on with that whole
he wasn't even a Calais Campbell or Vince Wilfork to me. But
right. If we're going to jump off subject here, and then I was listening to something this morning. I was laughing because I wanted to get your take on this.
it wasn't about LeBron, was it?
Nah, but we could talk about that too. I want to go back and talk about the Shadur thing. And I thought it was ironic because I've never seen this before, and I've been watching a lot of football for many years, where they putting out statistics of what you throwing for in minicamp. I just thought that was hilarious, just to say, okay, this man is whatever. I don't know. We'll just say it was 24 for 27, this and that, 6 touchdowns and that. And I'm thinking like, what is minicamp? Some people are kind of seeing the writing on the wall, kind of like he hasn't taken any first team reps, which is not surprising to me, might be surprising to other people just because of the way he was drafted. And it's a business. And I think a lot of people miss out that Stefanski wants to win. I don't think he wants to go. If he's going to get fired, he's going to go out and get fired playing the best players to help him win right now, not the players that make him win in the future. Now, ownership might think a little different. But the question was, what do you think about all the hype machine around the Shadur thing? It's weird because it reminds me a little bit of the Tebow situation when he came in the league and some of the hype stuff that was going around old Tim. Some of them manifested, some not. I don't know.
I mean, Dwayne, to be honest with you, I don't even pay attention to it.
Well, that's good.
I don't, man. I wish you do well with Cleveland. I always heard that's where quarterbacks go to die, but I hope he does well. I thought Cleveland a couple years ago had something cooking
with Baker.
Yeah, because I thought they had something cooking because you had Njoku and you had some receivers and the defense had some people on it. So I'm not sure about Cleveland. I've never been sure about the Browns. They've been cursed, man, going back to when they lost to Elway and that back in the day when old boy fumbled. That was back in the 80s, late 80s or whatever.
Right.
It's Cleveland, man.
Now, Dolphins signed a quarterback, didn't they, in the draft, didn't they?
Huh?
Did the Dolphins sign a quarterback in the draft?
I think so.
I think they got
I believe so.
I have to go back and look. But
all I know is they all on the hot seat right now with the Dolphins.
You think so?
Yeah, man. You got too many weapons on offense to be losing. You got too many weapons. You got Archain, you got Tyreek, you still got what's name of receiver. He ain't left.
Yeah, Waddle.
Waddle. You got Smith at tight end, number 9. The dude showed you last year how dope he was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. It's time for the Dolphins to start winning. It's this crap that they've been doing. McDaniel on the hot seat, buddy.
Yeah.
McDaniel's
the knock they say, great offensive mind, not a great coach. So I don't know.
This is 5th year. You lost games that you shouldn't have been losing, and I'm sorry, man. This is. Oh, they got Artie Burns. Remember Arthur? Remember Artie? Yeah, he with the Dolphins now.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to see. What's your take on Tua?
If he got time, he can do his thing. If he ain't got to run around, that's the big thing with them, the line.
Yeah. It's amazing when I watch any type of football from Pop Warner all the way up to professional.
The defense gonna be nice. The Miami defense nice. They got the right people, man.
Yeah.
It's that O-line as always. Oh, they got Quentin Ewers.
That's what I was trying to think.
That's
who
what
they got.
They got Quentin Ewers.
That's what I thought they had. Okay, yeah. And I think he signed already. So
they got the running back from Oklahoma State. They got some people, man. So
So they got you, Ears, Tua, and who else they got on the roster at quarterback? Who was backing up?
I'm looking.
I'm trying to think who came in when he got hurt. If he's still on the roster.
I think they messed up letting old boy go to Oakland, to
Who was
Vegas. That came from Clemson, the defensive tackle. I think they really messed up letting him go. They sometimes they, you know, I mean, they still got some studs. Yeah, Jay Smith, tight end. He is, man, they cannot let him go.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They got pieces, man. It's just that line. Old boy retired playing tackle, and if they get that offensive line, there's Armstead. I thought he retired. So I mean, like I said, we gonna see, man. There ain't no reason why the Dolphins don't win the AFC East.
Right.
With the Jets, the Patriots, and
he said we need Jay Lamar.
Who, the Dolphins or the Hurricanes? Jay Lamar.
I want to say talking about the Dolphins. You talking about the Dolphins out there, Mr. HD? Pull it up here real quick.
No, he talking about Miami.
Oh, okay. Got him. Sorry about that. We got you there.
Georgia. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's him. Yeah, he out of Georgia, 2026.
Right, okay.
He a 4-star. Yeah. He right. They was talking about him the other day. Yeah. I think Jackson was in his ear too. Cantwell was in his ear.
Yeah. I think that's the report I read on Canes Watch or somewhere.
Woo, you get him. Come on now.
Yeah.
I told you. Yeah, that's right. Jay Lamar. That's right. Yep.
Hey, sometimes you got to excuse us. We be having so much information going on. Shit, we be forgetting names and be on overload some days. Be switching sports and stuff like that.
Together. Don't worry. We're going to have to start really doing our homework. But
right. Hey, look, I'll be having them till they names be coming the hell out. You can tell me one week and then next week I'll be forgot. But Tristan Keys, we're going to get back to him and some of these other 5 stars that they're trying to lock down. And like I told you last week, I think a lot of stuff going to be settled by the end of July, you know, because of
it's going to be settled by before.
Well, by the end of June.
The next 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to get
end of June, because that's when the new NCAA stipulations come out and stuff. So I think a lot of stuff going to get locked down. People finna.
I don't think we got a problem with NIL money. I don't think Miami got a problem with that.
Yeah, well, that's why I think it's got to get locked down now, because that's when the stipulations come after that. You know, the 20 million per roster or per team or whatever, then it get allocated, that kind of thing. So, yeah. So I think a lot of guys like, hey, I can get this bag now before the end of this month, where you ain't got to report the NIL to the whatever the new sanctioning body that they have in the NCAA, and which is. You're finna see some guys probably get some good money. Shoot, which, hey, I'm happy for them. You know, I think back of the days where there was a lot of backroom deals and back in our day where it was deals because it wasn't any media coverage and you just saw guys, like you say, pop up with houses or pop up with a car or pop up with this or, you know, and it ain't just in, a lot of people get it twisted. It's not just in college sports. This stuff was happening in high schools. It happened more in high schools now because of, in our day, people didn't actually transfer to go to different high schools. I just read
that's been happening. That happens a lot now.
Yeah, I just read something that a guy going to Shamana Madonna, he transferred from someplace and going over there this year, and I'm thinking like, yes, we just didn't. I don't knock guys in this era for doing that. We just didn't do it in our era coming up and back in our day. But
where you lived is where you play. I mean,
yeah,
we all grew up and went to school at some elementary, junior high together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like your daddy or my daddy was going to decide to say, man, my son is great at football. I'm just gonna pack up and move over to this school district because they better.
Right.
In Missouri, where you live is what school you go to.
Right.
It ain't like Michigan. I know in Michigan you can send your kid to any public school you want in Detroit.
Right.
Or outside in the state of Michigan. You don't have to go to the school where you live. Whereas here, whatever district you live in, that's what school you go to.
Right.
And if you want to go to a different school, you better show proof that you got an address or some people that live in that district that you living with. If it ain't your parents,
right.
So
why haven't Miami tried to get Bell at quarterback?
Shit, you got old boy.
Yeah, that's shit.
You got Luke, and then you got the other kid coming in right behind him. You straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to be straight for the next 4 to 5 years. If Luke come in and play next year, they're going to redshirt old boy.
Mm-hmm.
They probably going to redshirt him. So if they redshirt him in 26, that means he a freshman in 27, which means that's Luke Nichols' junior year.
Right.
So if Luke want to be a national champion, it's going to happen that year, or maybe he decided to stay his senior year when old boy is sophomore now. You see what I'm saying? They know what they're doing.
Yeah. I understand that.
Why recruit another quarterback if
he ain't gonna play because he's gonna enter the portal anyway? No. We don't need the settlement money. Now we're not talking about settlement we're talking about the new NCAA NIL
right
bargaining.
They got that new bargaining rule now.
So
your money.
Where if you're a third party trying to give money, you have to report it to them, and then basically, from my understanding of the framework, either they decide whether it's okay or not. So you'll have the allocated money for the school for all of your sports, and then after that, if somebody else, you got a car commercial or whatever else, that has to be submitted to the NCAA under this new guideline, and then they determine if that third party money is okay. So that's why I think people are trying to lock in and get this bag before that goes in effect. So
right,
if that answers your question, there, Porch Kane. But yeah, getting back to that, it's tricky when you're trying to bring in a lot of talent, guys at the same position, because somebody's going to leave. If you keep bringing guys in at the same position, it's just the nature of the beast, especially in the transfer. Leave. Yeah, the transfer portal era. So
somebody gonna leave, man.
Yeah, but I don't know why. Like I say, if you went out and got Luke, then you probably think that you were set for, like you said, for the next 2 to 3 years after he starts. So you figure 3 years, then you got the old boy coming in right after him. He red shirts. He's going to lock you down for a couple of years. Or, like I say, you don't know. You might get an injury or something.
I don't see them red shirting Luke Nickel because next year is going to be wide open. And maybe they want Luke to battle it out with my man coming in as
Emory. As a freshman next year.
But okay. if Luke get the job, I could see them maybe redshirting him, maybe because he might be his backup.
Right.
I could see them going after a quarterback next year. It all depends on, I could see that because Emory ain't gonna be here. Beck is gonna be gone.
Right.
I forgot the other young man that's there. He's the fourth quarterback. So can't forget him. He gonna want his shot next year.
Yeah.
If he don't leave, he didn't leave this year. So I can't see why he would leave next year. If he's gonna get a chance to battle for a starting job or at least battle for the backup job. So next year gonna be really interesting. Next summer, next spring game, and going into the summer and fall camp. Next year is gonna be very interesting. If you think this year is interesting.
Right, yeah.
I don't think Mario going to be tapping into, because I saw a video should Mario go in the portal every year for a quarterback, and I'm like, no, you got some studs now.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to go in the portal.
You got one now, and you got one coming.
Yeah,
you may want to get another stud next year out of high school.
Right.
And if you put up some big numbers with Beck this year, that's all the ammo you need. If Dawson could have a top 5 offense, I'm not going to say he's going to have the number 1 offense this year, But you never know. But unless the running game just explode and Miami got the best running game in the country, if Miami has a top 5 offense this year, that's a selling point.
Yeah.
That's a selling point. I had the number 1 offense with the number 1 drafted quarterback in 24. Let's say they have the number 3, 4, or 5 offense this year coming into this season. Beck has a great season. The running game get off. We would love to see Lyle and Fletcher both have 1,000 yards apiece. That means your O-line is the shit and you running the hell out that rock.
Yeah, true.
Beck might not have them type of numbers if they running the ball like that, but we don't care what they do as long as you putting up.
Yeah.
As long as you putting up these right here at the end of the game,
right.
I don't care how you got it.
Yeah, it don't make a difference to me.
Beck threw for 400, and I don't care if Lyle ran for 150 and Fletcher ran for 100. Coleman, that's him.
Yeah, he says, we don't know how Luke or 5'10" quarterbacks next pan out. Yeah, true.
That's true, man. But like I said, I don't care if a quarterback 5'10" or 6'4". If he got to run for his life, he ain't going to do much.
Yeah. You know, the thing with your smaller
quarterbacks. How tall is Baker
quarterbacks.
Mayfield? Baker about 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, he wasn't 6 foot. He probably been 6 foot in cleats. So,
I mean, he looked good with the Buccaneers.
I'll say this: some of your smaller quarterbacks, they know they've been small their whole life. So some of them
that never hurt Charlie Ward, did it?
Right. Some of them have, since they at a disadvantage of being small. Some of them find little passing lanes like Kyler Murray and them. They got to do a little something extra to get it down the field, you know. So it's just like you said, you don't know how they're going to pan out. But I would say this: maybe panning out in college is different than panning out in the NFL. Game is a little bit more wide open in a college, so it's just a little different. You know, you get to the NFL, you're going to have to be more in the pocket. You know, so that's why I
was watching some De'Aaron King highlights, and I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah. Miami wasn't that tall either, was he?
Nope. I said Miami wasn't bad when they had him. They just didn't have enough D. I think they just didn't have enough defense for Clemson when they played at Clemson. And they had Bubba Bolden on that team. He blocked the punt. Was Jalen Phillips on that? I think Jalen Phillips was on that team. I don't know if he was hurt or not, but hey, no, he wasn't. I don't think he was on that team yet, or he was on that team. I think old boy was gone. They played with Buffalo now when they was together. De'Aaron King looked nice, man. Going back and looking at the clips of him, I'm like, man, that Louisville game and even the Clemson game when he couldn't get no passes because Clemson had a hell of a defense.
Right.
That's the kind of D we want to have. That's the kind of D we want to have.
Right.
De'Aaron King looked good, man. So, yeah, you want a nice, tall quarterback, man. I want a great game manager.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want a game manager, a guy that's going to make the right decisions. You know, Dorsey didn't have the best arm. He didn't always throw the most crisp pass. A lot of time when you watch Ken Dorsey through, he's like he put his whole body into it. You know what I'm saying? But he got the ball to Shockey. He got the ball to Winslow. He got the ball to Santana and Andre Johnson. He got the ball to Kevin Beard.
Right.
Ethnic Sands. He got the ball to him. So that's all I want.
Like I said, I always get it. I know we all want our favorite players to get drafted, but it's a difference. You got guys in the high school Hall of Fame, you know, studs, you know, don't make it on the next level. You got guys in the college Hall of Fame, studs, still don't make it to the next level. So it's just all how you want to look at it. I could take a guy, or we could take a guy if he's 5'10", 6'4". I don't care what his height is. Get the wins, show out, go in our ring of honor. We hope you get drafted. That's another debate after, but ultimately worrying about performance, why he's here. For us, the 5'10", I would say this. I would think Mario and Shannon Dawson, they know people's liabilities when they drafted him, and if they think he's good enough and think he can perform at Division I level in the ACC, then they offered him the recruitment. If they didn't, they probably wouldn't try to recruit him. Now, ultimately, you have to see when you get on the field, but
right.
You know, but I think he's going to be okay. I think Luke Nickel would be okay because he playing against high competition when he was in school.
Man, he Mr. Georgia,
Yeah, and
two-time
I
state
think
champion.
Coleman going to be okay too. Now, like
And
you say,
Coleman gonna be.
yeah, he will have to put on some weight, like you say, but he's small, and that's correct.
Yeah, they go. Yeah, Coleman. Coleman gonna probably put a good 10, 15 on, maybe 20 muscle. Build up. They gonna get him right nutrition wise. I seen his film, man. Dude, just
yeah.
But like I said, I don't care how good. Look how good Cam was at Washington State.
Yeah.
And his line didn't always. That's why he fumbled a lot.
I was sitting up watching the other day. I don't know why the highlights of him and Penance at when he was at Washington, watching the game between those two play. Man, that was a
bro.
Man, that was a great game, boy.
That was super duper game.
Right. He said Dawson hasn't developed a quarterback. Cam made the offense go.
I'm not going to say no to that. This is going to be Dawson's opportunity.
Yeah.
With Luke Nickel and Coleman. Can he develop him? Because he's a hell of a coordinator. Now he made some questionable calls at times, I thought, between, but I think it was in the haste of, going back to the Cam basket. He done saved you and saved you and saved you.
Right.
Whereas in that Syracuse game, we all know now he should have just ran that damn rock.
Right.
I'd have ran that ball down their throats. I'd have had our O-line, where they defensive line out. I'd have made them commit to putting 6, 7, 8 guys in the box. And then I might have tried to take a strike at them one-on-one down the field. But, you up 21-0 and you keep slinging, and then they started playing you for that. Yep. And you start doing the 3 and outs and giving them the ball back real quick, and then they hurry up and score. So that's the mistake I think Dawson made. And I think he learned from that. Now, because he an air raid type of offense.
Yeah. So
now don't think him and Mario didn't have it out behind closed doors, man. Yeah. Coaches do. Mario wants to run that ball, and Dawson wants to throw that rock. And when Cam was a generational dude, he was, he was that. Mario conceded, hey, look, I'm gonna let them do what they do because he saved us against Cal. He saved us against Virginia Tech.
Right.
He saved, he lit up South Florida. You saved us against Duke. You saved us against Wake Forest, because remember, Wake Forest and Miami was damn near tied at halftime.
Right.
Wake Forest, so I was sitting there like, what the hell going on?
And I will say this, the development.
He saved you at Louisville, big time.
The development and game management, that's kind of two separate
things.
Two separate things. I think, like you said, we all knew that Shannon Dawson should have, been a little bit more balanced. That was the knock as we got. And I think all us as fans kind of got Cam happy and not looking at it like, okay, we could have, a lot of people don't like to admit this, we could have helped our defense out a lot more by slowing the game down a little bit, by being a little bit more balanced. And I mean, there was some games where they did get balanced and they ran the ball a couple of times trying to just slow it down because that defense was on the field so much. When you score quick, defense got to come back out there. They already wasn't playing at a high level, and it's a recipe for disaster, so that's crazy there. It says it said Dawson got Clay Toon drafted in the NFL.
There you go.
It said the Syracuse game, number 7 cost us the game with the fumble.
I'm not gonna put it all on him. That ain't fair to Restrepo. I'm not gonna put that all on him.
Yeah.
It didn't help.
You're right. It didn't help.
It didn't help Mr. Mayfield, but I'm not gonna put all that on him. No. I'm not gonna put that all on him. This ultimately goes down to Dawson and Mario not running that rock.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have had to throw it to Restrepo. Restrepo fumbled. That was costly. It was costly. That was a costly fumble, but it didn't cost him the game.
Right.
When you up 21-0 and you got the ball now I'm going to slow this shit down, eat clock. Right. I'm going to eat the clock. I'm going to get up slow. We're going to run this play clock all the way down, and I'm going to run the ball. Even if I don't get a first down and we got to go 3 and out, I might have took 2 or 3 minutes off this clock, gave my defense a chance to breathe.
Right.
I'm going to pound on your offensive line a little bit. Next time I get the rock, I'm going to pound on them some more. So by the time we get to the fourth quarter, the rest of them big boys we got up front, they're going to eat.
Right.
But now I'm steady doing this. With Cam, I'm steady doing this. And I'm 3 and outing or turning the ball over or whatever the case may be. And they getting the rock right back. And our secondary was boo-boo. But you know what? I digress. I don't care. I don't want to talk about last year.
Right.
I want to talk about last year. That's over with.
He said this. He said Miami could be balanced how bad the defense was. And I said, well, my take on that is when I mean balance is to slow the game down.
Slow the game down. That's all.
You could take the whole time clock. You can you could bleed the time clock. You can run it. Yeah. If you're going to score, you could just be methodical about it. And that helps your defense is getting them more rest on the sideline. So
if you look at the 0-1 Canes, Miami was the #1 team that year in scoring quickly. But they had a hell of a defense that didn't let the other team do nothing. Whereas this team was the same way on offense. Miami could score very quickly, and they did. The problem was the other team could score real quick, too.
Yeah, score just as quickly as they could score.
That's why you had a game like you had with Louisville, damn near shootout.
Right.
And your special teams wasn't all that great. Miami wasn't as balanced. But like I said, you could kind of feather that out just running the rock. You got this big old line, man. Run that ball. Yeah. That's where you incorporate a little I formation. That's my thing. All this shotgun over and over. Now I'm gonna slow this game down now. I'm going to go, if I don't have a fullback, fine, I'll go to a single back set like Miami ran with Dennis Erickson, but I'm going to get behind these big boys, run some counters, run some traps. Somebody going to bust ones in a minute because I'm wearing them down.
Right.
I'm running the play clock down. We getting up slow. We going to a huddle. We not in a big hurry. We up 21-0.
Right.
Why be in a hurry to go 3 and out?
There was a couple of games that they did. Like you would come out, they ran the ball like 4 or 5 times straight, and just slowing it down, running the ball a little bit.
That's all.
That's all.
I think you're gonna see more of that this year, Dwayne. I think you're gonna see more of that this year now.
He said, if you slow the game down, you put yourself in third and long. That's only if
not
you don't.
Always.
Yeah, if you don't
not
get
always.
Yards.
If I'm getting 3-4 yards a carry, I'm good with that. If I go into a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, I should be able to get that with the line I got.
Yeah.
I should be able to get that. Especially if I'm still putting 3 out wide.
Yeah.
And you got to play me for the 3. Or I got 2 out wide and I put Arroyo in motion as a tight end to go out. Or I'm playing a double running back set and I put one of them in motion to go out. Somebody, they're going to have to cover that. They're not going to stack the box and I got all these weapons out here. Not when I got Cam Ward. Right. They got to respect that. So, no, I'm not going to always look at third. If you can't run the ball, then, you in 3rd and long. But when I got that kind of line and I got these kind of running backs, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It shouldn't be no 3rd and long unless they stack the box and they playing me for the run. And then that's when I'm going to hit you with the pass.
And I think that was a knock on Shannon Dawson. I always tell people. I just think that he got the flow of the game. And sometimes with your coordinators, sometimes they get put in certain situations where they kind of haven't been there before. And like you said, he kind of got happy with the Cam Ward thing. And
we all did.
And you kind of get out of balance. I mean, it happens, so, I mean, it happens a lot. So, I mean, that is what it is on that. But we won't beat the dead horse on that.
We ain't got beat. That's water under the bridge. I think this year, and they've already alluded to that, I think this year with Carson Beck, they know Beck didn't have to run it.
He said these kids don't know nothing about old school football.
No, they don't. The ones that's from Miami, they might have sat down with their daddies and uncles and looked at stuff. But no, a lot of them don't, man. A lot of these kids, you see that video I posted with Michael Irvin when he was talking to them receivers, using their hands.
Right. Yeah.
And he was actually hitting them good and he was letting them little niggas feel that.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Your hands up for more than catching.
Right.
Andre Johnson was good at that swatting dude away. That's how he got the first touchdown in the national championship game. He just swatted the old boy out the way. You got to use your hands, man.
Yeah.
Man.
It's a different time.
You think Michael Irvin ain't sitting down with Kevin Beard talking? Come on, man.
He said they were running the ball in the Florida game because they were playing the pass the whole game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and if you're playing the whole game, then that's what you got to switch it up. I mean, that's the thing. Adjustments. And some of that I do put on Mario and his coaching staff coming out at the halftime. Sometimes they didn't make key adjustments, but
and that was in his first 2 years.
Right.
That was in his last year. They made better adjustments.
Yeah, they made better.
They made better adjustments than they did in 2023 and in 2022.
Right.
So somebody tried to tell me, well, Mario makes too many mistakes as a coach. I said, if you've been paying attention to Mario, he was really shitty in 2022.
Right.
Did a little bit better in 2023. I thought he did a very good job last year. He didn't make any stupid timeout decisions and costly timeouts, and he is progressing as well. I think Dawson has progressed. Dawson going into his 4th season.
Right.
So the coaches on the offensive side have done what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got to see what this defense do. And I think with Heatherman as the defensive coach and linebackers coach, and they taking this pin your ears back approach and attack.
Yeah.
Versus running all these different stunts and all this type of shit. Look, they want to come up and hit you in the mouth.
Yeah.
We all as fans want to see some defense. Right. We're tired of offense. All these sports, I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, hockey, everybody going offense crazy, and we don't see any defense.
Hey, that's been the most enjoyable part, not to even switch subjects, about the NBA Finals or the NBA playoffs, because it's so physical. It makes you wish, I wish they played this way all season, because I might watch them. You know what I'm saying? I might actually watch them, because watching these games now where you see guys just not letting guys dunk like you do all regular season, you don't have that so much in football, because every game means so much, so it is physical. But you did see the difference from regular season to college football championship football, because nobody can lie, they were hitting in that college football championship. I mean, they was bringing the wood, and you had to be extremely physical in that college football championship. It was some good football, once you get out the first round, of course, where some teams got dog walked, but I digress on the first round. But that second round it was some good football. So physicality is always going to be a part of championship football.
I just would like to see all football get some of these rules out of the game. Get this targeting shit out of the game. There's always been spearing. Spearing has been a penalty, a flagrant foul, personal foul penalty in football for decades, since the 60s. You couldn't spear people. Since the advent of the helmet, you couldn't go in head first and spear somebody.
Right.
There's always been a 15-yard flagrant penalty. This shit where you got to stop and review, and did he hit him with the crowd? It's gonna happen. It's football.
Right.
It's gonna happen. I go so far to say I want them to get rid of the horse collar. Shit, we've been horse collaring. What you supposed to do? Let the man score? I'd rather horse collar his ass and get a 15-yard penalty than just let him run by and I'm reaching out. I'm like, I can't tackle him.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, but in the playoffs, if it's between him and that touchdown, you're a horse collar him. But in the regular season, they just let you run. Yeah.
I'm gonna strangle your ass. I'm gonna do all that. I'm not gonna let you score.
Hey, but what it all boils down to with all the rule changes and stuff.
It's money.
And money. Not you don't. The NFL don't want their cash cow players getting hurt, but in doing that, the quarterback or whatever, you take it away from
Brady, man.
Yeah, take it away from the game.
Take it away from the game, man. We want to see big hits. Right. I want to see receivers going across the middle thinking twice because the safety coming to blow your ass up.
Yeah.
If I'm not going to spear you with my helmet, then you free game.
Isn't it crazy how we didn't got away from like the big slot receivers like Keyshawn Johnson and them, and we didn't move the small receivers like Restrepo. We don't knock Restrepo in them, but your big receivers were the ones that ate going across the middle. And they would think
twice about coming across the middle if John Lynch was out there, or Atwell was out there, or certain Dawkins is out there with Philadelphia. Come on, Palomalu with the Steelers. You thought twice about coming across the middle. You'd have had words with your quarterback like, look, man, we got to do something different.
Yeah.
But they done took all that out the game now. It's like with the NBA, you can't hand check now. It's like, you can travel,
right?
You can double dribble, all that in front of the ref, and I can't hand check no more. Come on, man.
Yeah, so and I think it's in all professional sports. Well, the funny part I'm not even going to say in college football because they have been reviewing a lot of stuff, kicking people out the game for.
I don't like that, man.
Yeah.
I don't like that, man. If you spear somebody, hey, 15. They only doing that they taking away from the defense.
Yeah.
You're taking away from the defense. If you got the ball, you fair game. I don't care if you're the quarterback, whoever you are. If you got the ball, you fair game. If the ball is in the air, the defender has a right to the ball just as like the offensive player.
Kane said it best. He said they're trying to make a sport that's safe, that's unsafe to play. Make it make sense. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember,
perfectly agree.
Bro, I remember when I played, when we was in high school, when I finally got to varsity after you graduated. I don't know if it was Coach Remy or Rogenhofer said, if you play hard, you don't get hurt.
Yeah.
You don't get hurt. I mean, sometimes things are going to happen, man, but I think the guys that go out there and play timidly are the ones that end up not always, but they might be the ones that get hurt, man.
Yeah. We were always taught that equipment is designed to withstand the hits that you take. So if I'm running 20 miles an hour, you running 20 miles an hour, that equipment, when it hits, is designed to protect you. How people get hurt, you might be running 20 and I might be running 10, and then you hit me. That's when you start having problems.
Yeah.
But in saying all that, it's safe. I mean,
it's about money.
You're supposed to protect yourself.
It's
in
about,
football,
right. And it's about money. You got all these.
Yeah.
I don't like these helmets. Everybody looks the same. Everybody got the same face mask. The linemen don't have lineman masks. Everybody got these stupid slits in these helmets. They so space age, but you got more head injuries now. Everybody got these little bitty ass shoulder pads on. You got more shoulder injuries. Guys hitting the ground, barely getting up. I want my linemen to look like they did when we played. They had the big pads on. Them cats came out. When they came out the locker room, it was like, you was intimidated because how big they look, and they was some
looking
big
out there
dudes.
like the Boz or somebody back in those days, the big neck rolls and stuff. Yeah.
Now you coming out, everybody got these little bitty baby shoulder pads on with these super skinny tight ass jerseys. Like, even the linemen, it's like, I'm like, I've never been a fan of that shit. I've never been. All this was about money because look, the helmet maker makes hundreds of millions of dollars. Of all the colleges got to change helmets, all the high schools. Imagine how much money they make.
Man, they making money all hand.
They're making money. It's all about money. You could take an old Riddell helmet from the 90s, or a bike that we used to wear back in the 80s, and put the inner shit on the inside, and that hat just as good as what they wearing now with all them stupid slits and all this shit. Yeah. I want my lineman to have scars on his hat. That's telling me he in the trenches battling. Remember the lineman had all them marks?
It looked like somebody carved it to their helmets. Yeah.
Like somebody carved it all up because they was in there knocking.
Yeah.
The guard, the center tackles, you knew they was all their helmets was just beat the shit in the front because they was ain't nobody talking about them with them the dudes that make helmet to helmet contact all game. What about them? Do y'all check them for concussions?
No, I'm gonna ask the chat this because I thought I went to a football game. I think it was a high school football game last year, and I was sitting in the stands, and I was just amazed at how quiet it was on the field. Like, I just remember just pads just cracking, and I went to this game, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but I'm like, man, are they out there hitting or what? Because it's so it is not and that's not to take nothing away from these guys.
I
They just don't have as
will.
much padding on that we had on, in those days. So
We used to knock the snot out of each other.
But we had a lot of padding on back in those days.
Back then we had the forearm pads, you had the hip pad, the tailbone. They don't even wear hip and tailbone pads any longer.
They said
they got them paper thin ass thigh pads and paper thin knee pads, and they talking about, well, it's for speed. I said, man.
Well, shit, Deion Sanders ran a 4.2 with all the pads on.
All that, that don't mean if you fast, you fast.
Right, yeah, that's what they say.
We done seen dudes with the thigh pads and the tailbone pad and the hip pad sticking out, and you still couldn't catch them.
Right.
We wasn't slow.
Said my coach used to tell us, if you go out there half-ass, and that's when you get hurt.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You go out there half-ass, and that's when you get hurt, or you go out there doing something stupid. Like what Bubba Bolden did in the Florida State game when he got that pick, he started dancing around and he landed funny and fucking blew out his fucking Achilles or some shit. And you lost him for the rest of the season that year. And I'm like, and Miami was halfway decent that year because that's when they had old boy from Buffalo. That's what the Bills now. At defensive end, and they had
Rushard. Rushard was it?
Jaden Phillips was on the other end.
Yeah. Okay.
They was tearing it up that year. DJ was on that. DJ Dallas was on that. Remember they went to Florida State, boy?
Yep.
They had a squad that year.
Yep.
And that he did something boneheaded and got himself hurt.
Yeah. Like I said, you can't come out there playing around. Say you live two different. You live to get two different color paint on your helmets as a linebacker back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
That's what you knew you was playing. That's you.
You had different colors. Our helmets was navy blue, but we had yellow on there from Hazelwood Central. You had some white on there from Pattonville, Normandy. Shit, you had some blue on there from McClure, some silver from McClure North. I remember.
What you say? Hey, don't clean my helmet. Hey, this is like a badge out of here.
I want the other team to see all that shit up there.
Hey.
Our Rams horns in the front was all tattered and tore up, but the rest of the horn looked nice. That let you know they was out there. You remember? Shoot.
Yeah. Hey, the funny part though, but we know in college football it's a marketing thing, and they're going to scuff the helmets. They want them looking pristine every game. And so we get all the marketing part of the college football. But like I say, it's been pretty quiet out there. So it's crazy. He says,
money. Always the money.
He said, you got the stars on the back of your helmet for knocking the shit out of people. Yep.
We used to get little yellow helmets.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep.
If you kept the other team from crossing the 20 on the kickoff, you got a helmet. If you got a turnover, you got a helmet. You got a helmet for a touchdown, interception. You got helmets for some of y'all had helmets all over the football.
Yeah, there's all
when
over.
The other team came out, they saw that. They knew who the world beaters were.
Right. Yeah. And the funny part, they was doing in college. I don't even think they do that in college anymore.
That one year with Mark Richt, they was having little hurricanes they was putting on the back of the helmets. I didn't like that.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't. Me personally, I didn't like that. They had them little hurricane stickers that they was putting on the back of the helmet.
I knew Ohio State used to have little Buckeyes.
They still hand out them Buckeyes.
Okay, do they? Okay.
Yep, they still hand out them little Buckeye stickers on there.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, some people still do that, man. I never had a problem because when I was a freshman and saw y'all come out there, shit, toward the end of the season, y'all football, y'all shit was full of helmets.
Yeah, I mean,
Lingard and you and Big Tony and everybody came, Vaughn and all y'all came out there with them helmets on. I was a freshman. I was like, these cats for real.
Yeah. Hey, it was one of those things. It was like, hey, you saw these guys now, and I know lack of equipment makes guys don't hit as hard because they're trying to protect themselves. If you ain't got shoulder pads on and you got these little skinny shoulder pads on, how the hell you finna run full speed into somebody? Some guys
they don't want you using your head. They want you to put your shoulder in the shit.
Yeah.
But you giving me these little JFL shoulders, these Pop Warner shoulders, that pads, and I really go in there and hit somebody hard because you don't want me to hit them with my head. And now I done hurt my shoulder. Yeah, now you're walking around, and it's even worse back in the day because I remember I hurt my shoulder once, and you had to wear the shoulder harness, underneath your doggone shoulder pad. So now the shoulder pad sitting up that much higher, but you did have that extra amount of cushion, so you was like, okay, I'm good. So but I just never understood
even when I watch NFL and all this stuff now, they just so I get the jerseys being slimmer because they don't want to get grabbed and stuff, some of the linemen and stuff like that. But I mean, guys was beasts with the big jerseys that we had on back in the day, and they really wasn't big, not compared now. Everything is like slim fit, and I just don't understand that.
I told this one guy, he arguing about LSU to beat Miami. I said, look, man, ain't no team in the last 10 years in college football.
Are you talking about with Burrow and Chase and okay?
I said they would have went out there. They would have lost to us. They would have lost to Florida State. They would have lost to Virginia Tech because the game was different. The rules was different. Yeah. These squads was for real.
Yeah.
The defenses were for real. Today it's like penalty. Yeah. Okay. I said LSU didn't even have a running game hardly. That I said who you gonna have block McDougal and the rest of them dudes up on the D line for Miami that would have been in his face, and Will Fork coming off the bench.
Right.
Huh?
Right.
Well, Ed Reed and them couldn't have covered Chase and all them like that. I'm like, are you serious?
They Hall of Famers. Why couldn't they?
They used to go up against Anquan Bolden and them. What are you talking about?
Right.
They used to go up against Santana in practice.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? It wouldn't have been no problem.
Right.
You think Philip Buchanan wouldn't have locked up one of them dudes? Come on, man. Stop. I mean, Miami would have beat that LSU team. I'm not saying they wouldn't have scored, but I think Miami would have beat them by 2 or 3 touchdowns with no problem. They wouldn't have had no answer for Portis and them.
Yeah, when they look back on that old Hurricane team and seeing all the guys that was drafted, they still try to slight it. And I just think it's just revisionist history because, we want to have the now, and it's more marketing hype with a lot of stuff that's going on now. So when they look back, it's just amazing to see. But I mean, guys that know football, they still talk about that team as probably the best ever in college football for as a team, and yeah, I mean, to me, it's just no doubt about it. When you look at that team and some of the stuff they were doing that year was special.
The year before, when they had Dan Morgan in them, they was bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress on that because it's always an argument with the LSU people. They trying to say they had the best team ever. And I tell everybody, LSU, Bama people, whoever, ain't no team in the last 10, really 15 years that could have played with teams in the early 2000s and late 90s. You wouldn't have went out there against Mike Vick and beat them with that 99 Tech team. You wouldn't have went out there with Florida State when they had Snoop Minnis and Chris Winkie and Anquan Bolden and Andrews Bell, and they had a defense. Florida State would have whooped your ass. And I'm not a Seminoles fan, but they would have took care of LSU.
Right.
Okay, because the game was different.
It was different,
it was a complete – you wouldn't have been able to stop them. Yeah. And they would have stopped you because you was a pass-happy team with an average at best O-line playing in today's game with these kind of rules. That's right.
Now. Hey, and that's why I always go back to when you go and watch the college football championship. Guys, you had to run the ball in order to win this college football championship. You can have all of the. When you're going through these certain teams, LSU didn't have to go through the actual college football championship of last year, but guys going to get keys on you. They would have came up with schemes after playing you a game or two and would have took one of them out, unless you just got the talent where you can just overcome. But if you can't run that rock, I mean, they didn't, but when Fournette came out of LSU, of course, he was just a beast when he was there, but and a couple other guys, but. Yeah, the Canes were loaded. They could do both. That was the thing. And they were physical.
And they led the nation in turnovers.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And their special teams was for real special. That's another thing I'm looking for this year.
Right.
I think we've discussed that before. This season with Miami, we need some spark with the punt returns. You might not get much with the kick returns. I wish they would move the football back to the 25-yard line or the 20 on kickoffs.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
taking away from the game. I don't understand why. I know I cannot be the only person that said you have taken away every time you kick the ball and go out the back of the end zone because you're worried about somebody getting hurt on a kickoff.
And then he come out the next play and run the ball and then get hurt. So how do you really take away from it?
I want to see somebody get blowed up on a block. That's another one that need to take out of football. If it's not an actual clip, it's a block. Why am I getting penalized for hitting a guy
on the blind side?
Some of the blind side block. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, because they show
it's not a clip, it's legit. You're supposed to keep your head on the swivel, man.
That's what
we got taught.
Yeah.
You're supposed to keep your head on the swivel when you're playing football. You can't be.
I know. It's like they try to protect the players when the players should be protecting themselves. I never understood that. But, okay, we're going to take this last one before we wrap this up. It says Pinellas Canes. He said 2001 Canes could have hung with some NFL teams. I don't go that far. But they were good. They were good. Only reason I say that because I've always had people tell me every year, oh, this team or this high school team can hang with some of the worst college teams, or this college team can hang with.
Miami
might be a good word.
Maybe Miami could have did something in the first half, but
after
that, you playing against professionals now and grown men that are older, and they out there, they're gonna try to teach. As good as Miami was, they were still 21 and 22-year-olds.
Right.
The only one that was really maybe 23 was Ed Reed because he was a fifth-year senior. So, now you're playing against 28, 29-year-old men that's been playing in the league for a while.
The quarterback ain't seen that kind of speed at the NFL level.
It's faster. So, I think, it's fair to say, Miami had an NFL roster.
Right.
A future NFL roster, and they had an NFL roster on the bench. Yeah, that team was really loaded, but to say that they would be able to hang with the Cleveland Browns,
right?
Well, maybe Cleveland,
maybe, but not
a little while. Even with them though,
right.
It's a pro team, man. So
yeah, we try to give them respect where it's due. And like I say, I used to hear people tell us how good, like St. Louis could beat blah blah blah, or IMG could beat such a, and I'm like, oh man, stop it.
St. Louis went out there with the Fighting Illini shit. Even with a Western Illinois or something, they're gonna get their butts beat to death.
Right, yeah. These guys are big.
IMG will go out there against FIU and get killed.
Right.
FAU, even a little small Division II community college would kill a high school team. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it 100. But anyway, back to this season. What's coming? It's looking good. Mario doing his thing, like we've been saying. So I think a lot of the Mario naysayers are starting to back off now.
Yep.
Because he's really, he's getting this high school talent. You've had 3 weekends in a row now where you've had some big time talent come down there, and a lot of them got Miami on the radar now.
Mm-hmm.
Miami didn't used to be on the radar, people. They didn't used to be on the radar like that. They did not. They wouldn't look at Miami. It was easy for the other teams to say, you don't want to go to Miami. They're a dumpster fire. They can't say that now.
Right.
They can't. They got nothing to say. But
Right.
Here comes Mario, because he's doing it. He's doing it with the recruiting. He's selling himself. He's selling the school. He's selling the city, and these kids are really buying into this, and it's not going to be about Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State anymore.
Right.
And Miami got deep pockets too. Their pockets might not be as deep as Texas, but that's okay. I'm not going to spend all my time arguing with fools on Instagram or Twitter about because you got Miami haters, man, that they're going to hate no matter what. It don't matter what. They're going to always hate Miami no matter what. Okay, fine.
Right.
We love it. Keep on hating. I don't hate nobody but Ohio State.
Right. Hey, hell, we got some of our own fan base to make you question if they fans sometimes. So
I dislike Florida. I really dislike Florida State. I dislike Notre Dame. I fucking hate. I loathe Ohio State. So
But the funny part is, I could dislike a lot of teams, but I always respect the players on the
Oh, I
field.
respect the
Yeah,
talent.
that's what I always try to do because it's as former athletes and playing in
Oh
college
yeah,
and all,
you,
you know that a
well,
lot of the stuff is
you
deeper
right.
between
You
the
gonna
fans.
go where you're gonna go.
Yeah,
I just think Mario realizes, especially with the kid at Northwestern, we can't have any more Jeremiah Smiths.
right.
We can't. We cannot. If we can't get the kid to flip from LSU, okay, we tried. He like us. He like us, but he from that part over there anyway. So
Right.
if he were to get him, that's just a cherry on the top.
Right.
That boy at Northwestern, you do not want to let him get away. He is from your city.
Right.
He is from your city. I don't give a damn if you got to get that boy, whoever y'all local potato chip maker is down in the same thing Missouri did with Luther Burden.
Yeah, Luther Burden.
If y'all Luther Burden could have went anywhere. He stayed in Mizzou. Old Vienna gave his face was on potato chips all over the state.
Yep.
And they was fire.
Yeah, they was actually pretty good.
And he could have and I'm gonna tell you right now, quiet as kept, he could have had any gal he wanted on campus. Yep. Your girl, my girl, faculty, that's how he had it. You got treated like a king, and I got that from a source. They treated Luther Burden like a king in Mizzou. You need to get this boy at Northwestern. You need to get this dude. They already got him a basketball scholarship. They gave him the green light to come hoop after the season is over. Let him take his other, but Mario need to land this boy.
Right.
You need to land him, and you need to keep this pipeline at home and stop letting our kids go to Georgia and Ohio State and Alabama and Clemson.
Yep.
Stop them from coming down there taking our kids. I don't want you taking mine. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to go to Georgia and get one of yours.
Right.
Maybe once, maybe twice, but God damn it, I'm going to keep my boys at home.
Right.
Whatever it takes.
I think Mario trying to get that line developed, and I think that
that's a selling point.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the kids are starting to see it there, and like I say, hey, people were leaving the state because it was some various things that was going on, which we all could be honest about. And but now I think it's a culture shift, and if Miami get there, they trended right. Florida State, which we don't talk about a lot, once they figure out that Norvell situation, I think some guys will be staying, not leaving. And we still know Florida. I think they just moved in the top 10 in recruiting.
Yep.
And so the state is looking good for.
I want them to be good, man. I want them. I want them to be good. Damn Alabama and Georgia and Clemson. I don't care about them. I want the Florida schools to be good. I wanted to get back to what was that one year dude came on TV, he had the hat, and they had three. Well, all three was in the top 5 of the country. Florida State, and Miami. I think it was 87.
Okay, yeah.
That's the only time where all 3 of them was in the top 5. They knew then, man, we got to do something about this Florida shit because they just dominating the sport. All the kids from Florida staying at home.
Right.
You want Florida to be good. I want to see Florida dominating the SEC. I want to see Miami and Florida State battle it out again like it used to be. That's what's going to bring all the eyes to the TV. Damn ESPN.
Right.
Talking about it's an instant classic last year with Georgia and Alabama. Why is that an instant classic?
Right.
Why? Why? Well, if that's an instant classic, then why couldn't the Miami Cal game be an instant classic? When damn near the whole country turned the TV off. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm smoking cigarettes outside. I'm mad as hell. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And all of a sudden, Miami came back. Now, you tell me why that couldn't be a classic.
Right.
You got this punk bitch named Reese Davis on the call, and every time Miami scored, you could hear it in his voice. He was upset that Miami scored.
Hey, Reese will tell you he lost his voice. He wasn't upset.
He was upset. Now, he'll tell you that he was upset. Yeah, he lost his voice because he was so ecstatic every time Cal scored.
Reese say he was upset. He say he lost his voice.
Yeah, because he was screaming every time Cal had a big play and scored.
Right.
Man, look, why wasn't that game a classic?
Right.
You down by that many points late in the game and come back?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, come on. What makes the Georgia Bama game an instant classic? And I'm sorry, that Georgia Auburn game where dude ran the field goal back that didn't reach all the way back to win the game. I don't see what's so fucking exciting about that. Do you?
No.
I mean, it's an in-state rivalry, but what makes that game so over the top?
Right.
That's the Cable Sports Network. I digress.
Yeah,
But like I said, as long as Mario keep trending in the right direction, the fan base should be happy with what they're doing.
Yes, sir.
You all should be happy with what's going on. And like I said last week and 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to say it every week up until July 31st, fall camp.
Yep.
Fall camp, people. That's where it's going to happen. In fall
and
camp.
We're not that far away from it.
All the talk going to stop. After them first couple of days of wearing no pads, when they get into full pads, I so wish they could do 2 a days again. I really wish they could do 2 a days again. But fall camp is where it's going to be, y'all. Yep. That's where you're going to find out. That's where you're going to see the separation. Who's going to be your second and third string. And I really think the secondary is going to battle it out. And I'm looking forward to fall camp.
And like I say, it's right around the corner, you guys. So
a month and a half away, y'all. A month and a half away, fall camp. I mean, I'm not, like I say, I'm not in a hurry to get the summer over. It's just getting started.
Yeah, and they even got started with 20-something. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this on up. Hey, you fathers out there, man, I hope you have a great Father's Day.
Everybody. All the men out there,
yourself.
Enjoy your day.
Smash that like button if you haven't smashed it. Share this material. We appreciate you guys and all your support. Go ahead and take us on home.
I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We go to work every day. We put up a lot. We carry a lot on our shoulders as men. A lot of us, we don't talk about our problems, and we keep a lot of things in, and we get one day where we get a little love and appreciation from our significant others and from our children. We're happy to see our kids. We want our kids to do great. We want our sons and daughters to do great. We want our sons to be better than us as fathers. That's all we want. We want our boys to do better than we do. Our daddies wanted us to do better than them. We want our sons to do better than us. So just all the dads out there, have a great day. Whatever you're doing, have a great day, because we back on the grind tomorrow. It's Monday. A lot of us go back to work and we on the grind. So enjoy the day and go Canes, man.
Go Canes, baby. We out.